Hey everybody. Since you're getting pretty well done with being done with your pen project, a lot of you are at least, I wanted to come up with some different ideas for you guys to stay busy while everybody else is getting caught up and finishing up with their pen project. Our next project, when we get into the second semesters, we're going to take a little exploration into microelectronics. So, a little bit of learning about how electronics works, how circuits work, and largely we're going to learn how to use this right here. This is called a SparkFun Red board, which is very, very similar to another tool that looks very similar to this called an Arduino Uno. Arduino Unos are the exact same shape, they're just blue instead. We end up getting school discounts for these red boards, so that's what we've chosen to use. They're pretty much the exact same thing. And so to get started, there's a little bit of setup because you actually power them through your computer. So we have the ability to build circuits on these using this breadboard as well as this microcontroller is what we call this. And then on top of that, we'll be able to program them just a little bit. So first thing we need to do is to get them set up on your computers. So what I would like for you to see is when you log into your PC, this is going to look a little bit different because I'm on my Mac, but you should still at least be able to see on the desktop of your computers this weird icon that looks like a turquoise circle that has the infinity sign with a plus minus in it. So you need to double click that open and you'll see something that looks like this. I have noticed that some of you will need administrative passwords to get onto this Arduino software. It's just been a while since we've logged into them, so if it asks for some administrative password, just let me know and I'll come log in for you. On your PCs though, what you're going to see is something that looks pretty similar to this. You'll see a void setup and a void loop. I don't want you to worry about that too much. We'll talk about the nuances of this later. For now, this is simply just kind of learning how it works, how to get it set up, and how to make a basic circuit. So, on the top of your screen on PC, you'll see all the things that you see up top up here for me, where it says File, Edit, Sketch, Tools, and Help. A few things that I will be giving you. You will need this board, as well as 2 wires. I try to get ones that are a little bit longer, at least 6 inches in length. You'll also get 2 LEDs. And you'll get 2 resistors. Noticing that there are bands on them, it should be orange, orange, brown, gold in color. And then on top of that, you will need to help yourself to a USB cable. Now, I do not have enough cables for everybody, which means that we have to share these between classes. I cannot for the life of me remember if this is a micro USB or a mini USB. So I will refer to them as a PlayStation 3 or PS3 cable. So if you wonder why I keep saying PS3 cable, it's because I don't remember what this like trapezoidal shape is, if it's micro or if it's mini. So you will need that. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our Arduino is plugged into our computer. So the other end is just a normal USB that goes in the computer. Our PlayStation 3 jack goes into this little gold slot. You should see at least 2 LEDs kind of starting to pop up. This one is flashing, and that's by design, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so now that it's plugged in, we need to go to our computer. And what you'll see is that I need to do a quick setup. So in order to set it up, I want to make sure that this Arduino board is actually communicating with my computer. To do so, we're going to hit Tools. We're going to double check what board type it is. So I said earlier that this is a replicate of an Arduino Uno. So this needs to stay as Arduino Uno. Next, you need to go to Port. And remember, this is different because I'm on a Mac. On a Mac, there's all these weird, like, kind of code-looking computer language things that I don't really understand. Basically, we're trying to tell it what USB port to communicate to. On your computers, you'll have 3. You'll have one that says COM1, you'll have one that says like COM3 or 4 maybe, and then you'll have one that says COM5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. You need to select the one that says 6, 7, 8, or 9. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So if you have COM1 and it's not working, you have COM4 and it's not working, don't click COM1 or COM4. It should be COM5 or higher. So we click that, and then I'm just going to go ahead and hit verify. And it wants me to save. I'm going to ignore that. And we're just going to make sure that everything's running smoothly. So you notice that there's a green bar down here. That's it's loading, it's kind of thinking, that kind of stuff. So I hit that green check mark to verify, and then we can actually upload this code to our board. So if you notice, I upload just this blank program. It'll say done uploading. It doesn't really understand what's going on, and you'll also notice that blue LED is no longer blinking. It's perfect. What I would like to do is open up a sample code. So if I go to File, down to Examples, you'll notice there's all of these different built-in programs that we could use. And I'm going to go to Basics. I'm going to do Blink. This will open up a new window, and there's a lot of different description on here. So you will notice that it'll say something along the lines of Blink turns an LED on for 1 second, then off for 1 second repeatedly. So that's what we're trying to achieve, turning on an LED for 1 second. If I scroll down to the bottom, this is all just notes for the people that are using it. This is not actual code. The code is actually down here. So it starts with our void setup and down to void loop. What you'll notice, if I've got a command that says pin mode, and we're going to command the LED that's built in. So that was this blue LED right here that is kind of looks yellow, but it'll flash blue once I upload this. Okay, so I'm trying to get this back so I can. There we go. Keep accidentally typing in things, switching cameras. We would like to try and pin our LED that's built in, such that we put it through a loop. So that it repeats. A loop would be repeating. Where the digital right, the LED built in is high. High is another word for on, or the number 1, or yes, or anything like that. That's the way that computers think. So we want to turn the light on. So let's saying the LED built in is high. It's turned on. And then we delay for 1,000. 1,000 refers to milliseconds, not full seconds, but milliseconds. So this is 1 full second. So we turn the light on and we wait for 1 second. After that second, we then tell it that we turn that built-in LED to low and delay it again for another 1,000 milliseconds. Okay? I'm going to blow this up just a hair. There we go. All right. So now we have this code written that was given to us, we found, and we're going to go ahead and upload it. So I'm going to hit uploading. It's thinking a little bit, and then it just says done uploading. And what do you notice? That blue light is starting to blink, and it's for exactly 1 second. So 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,004. I mean, I'm a little bit slow in counting. My drumming skill's not on par. So now that we have that figured out, there are certain ways that we can change it too. Say if I wanted to program my own LED. I don't want to just use the one that's on the board. I want to be able to like put a circuit in, okay? What you'll notice is that there are all these pins in these black spots that you can actually hook up wires to, okay? The ones that are going to be important to us are the ones that say GND, which is right there. That's going to be our ground. And then any one of these pins, I'm just going to pick one arbitrarily. I really like the number 4. So I'm going to put a wire at pin 4. Okay. Now we're going to make our first circuit. Couple things that you will need. You'll need those 2 wires that I just plugged in, and you'll need one each of your resistor and your LED. Okay. So what we need to do is we're going to start from power, and I'm just going to go ahead and plug this. I've got this upside down for those of you that are watching this on the computer. I've got this set to the A1 pin on my breadboard. Okay. What I'm going to then do is take my resistor and hook this up along one of these other holes to the left of this wire. Okay, so I've got B, C, D, E. I've got any of those that are parallel to it will be connected. So you notice that I've got my wire hooked up to 1A, and I've got one end of my resistor to 1D. Those are parallel, they're in unison. So we're starting to build our circle for our circuit. Then we need to plug in our LED. You'll notice with your LED, the legs are two different lengths. This one always needs to be connected to your positive, and the shorter one always needs to be connected to your ground. Okay, so since we're running from pin 4, this is our positive. Pin 4 is positive. We're running it to the resistor, and then that positive goes into the LED. So I've got my resistor on row 8. So I'm going to put the longer end into 8 as well. You'll also notice that I put the shorter end into pin 9, or row 9, excuse me. So then, to complete our circuit, we will then just ground that shorter leg on row 9. So one more time, try and get these out of the way so you can see. I'm starting with pin 4. Doesn't matter what number, we just need to know which one. Starting from pin 4, I'm going to row 1, going across to 1D, from 1A to 1D to my resistor, then from my resistor to the long leg of my LED at pin 8, and then my short leg ends up in pin 9, or row 9, excuse me, I keep saying pin, and then that goes to another wire, which this goes all the way back to our ground, which is marked GND. It's right next to that blue light that keeps flashing. Okay, so now we got to go back to our code, because what we're going to do, instead of having this say LED built in, this now becomes the number 4, because I'm saying that we have our pin at number 4. So then I just switch LED built in to number 4, LED built in, number 4, and just to be careful, I'm going to do a quick spell check. So if you remember, our check mark is our spell check. It says done compiling, looks good, no errors, and then we'll hit upload. And then as this is uploading, it says it's done uploading. There we go. You've seen that now I can get my green LED to turn on. So your task for the next while, I've given you 2 LEDs. You also have that built-in LED on the Arduino. Can you manipulate the code to try and make them blink at different intervals and different times? That's your challenge. Good luck.